What's up, peeps? Today I'm going to be reviewing the movie Blue is the Warmest Color, which is actually a French movie that came out in 2013. Now, I want to first give a shout out to Kareem at Aether Labs, where I currently work, for recommending this movie to me. Otherwise, I would have never heard about it. And for those who are interested in watching this after the review, you can easily find it on Netflix, and if you don't speak French, simply put on English subtitles like I did. Now, let's get into the movie. The movie itself is fantastic. It has probably some of the best acting I've seen in any film of all time. It's just phenomenal. The movie is directed by Abdelataf Kechiche, and you can see the various things that he does that just make this movie great. One of the trademark things that he does in this film is use jump shots. So while it does follow a linear structure as a film, sometimes it'll jump 3 years, but it won't tell you 3 years in the future. You sort of have to keep track of that. So it's something to look out for, but it's a very interesting take in cinematography. And what I especially love is the juxtaposition of the scenes. One of the things I enjoyed was when you're at the school setting and they're reading some of the books in high school, because this story basically follows two women who fall in love with each other, Adele and Emma, and Adele is in high school at the beginning of the movie, and Emma's in college. Um, and some of the books that Adele or some people are reading in her class, you see the parallels of love and the other things expressed in this movie, and I thought that was pretty nice. And probably my favorite juxtaposition shot was when you saw who Emma and Adele obviously become involved romantically. That's essentially the plot of the story. And you see them eating at Emma's parents, and then you see them eating at Adele's parents, and a very different dynamic going on. Yeah, at Emma's parents, they know about their relationship. They're open to it. They have fine tastes. They seem to be rich, and it's juxtaposed to Adele, who comes from a more working class family. They don't know that Emma and Adele are romantically involved. They think they're just friends. There's more of a concern for financial matters in terms of careers, because of course that's more of a middle class concern. So I like that juxtaposition they use. And of course, shout out to the actresses in this film, Leah Sado and Adele Exarchopoulos. I apologize again if I mispronounced those names. I don't speak French, but I gave it my best shot. Regardless, those two actresses did a phenomenal job in this film, and not just their dialogue, but their body language. Just looking at in their eyes, it really felt real for me. It was crazy. It was some of the best acting I've ever seen, and I can't recommend this movie enough. And of course, shout out to the writers of this film, because without the great dialogue, you wouldn't have had as much of a connection there, and the dialogue led to the good acting that took place. So the writing was phenomenal, the directing was great, the acting was great. Like I've always said, you only need two things to make a good film: good writing and good acting. And of course, a good cinematography helps. But this movie was made with, I believe, a $4 million budget, or 4 million euro budget, roughly, which is pretty low for a film this size. So they were able to pull it off quite well. And unsurprisingly, they won the Palme d'Or, which is the highest award at the Cannes Festival. And not only did the director win it, for the first time, the two actresses won it as well, which speaks testament to just how great the acting was. Now, if I did have a few, I do have a few criticisms of this film, and that's the timing. It is a 3 hour long movie, and while some people said that it was enjoyable and that they would like to see more, I felt it go on at times. I felt scenes go on when they didn't have to, and I felt like I got the message out of this film, or out of a scene, and it didn't have to go on that extra few minutes. And I think this movie could have easily been condensed in a 2 hour 20, 2 hour 30 minute film, if not even less than that, and still could have captured the beauty and the magic that was this film. But the film itself is still great, so my one criticism is the timing. another thing I will say, and another thing I did not enjoy about this movie was the last third of the movie. So if you want to break it down into the first hour, second hour, and third hour, I felt like the third hour was lagging a little bit, and it wasn't as good to me as the first 2 hours. But that's because the first 2 hours were so phenomenal. It's not like the third hour was bad. It was just in comparison not as great as the original first 2 hours of this film, or first two acts. And so to me, it was a little bit of a letdown. But nonetheless, the film as itself was phenomenal, and I'm gonna give it a. So I'm gonna give this film ultimately a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I felt it was phenomenal. I think you should definitely see it. Keep in mind that this movie is very graphic and was rated NC-17, so keep that in mind when you do watch this movie, and keep in mind it is a 3-hour long movie. With that being said, it is a phenomenal story, covers a lot of interesting issues from love, the LGBTQA movement, class divides, discovery, identity, all these different themes. It's beautifully done. Highly recommend it. Thanks for watching. If there's anything you want me to review, just let me know.